Assalamualaikum and greetings. This is our group project of STID3014. My name is Nurul Atira and my group mates are Nur Azrin and also Nanta. Based on learning this course, we would like to implement the techniques of forming ERD, which is entity relationship diagram, normalization, and also class diagram. So this is our project introduction. Our project will create database for purchase order form to store the order information accurately and for easy data management and also retrieval.
My name is Nanta Wachai Warawut, matrix number 296672. So for my part, I will be explaining about the project background and also the EERD. So what does our project aims to explain? So first is how the relationship work among entities in a purchase order. For example, customer and supplies have the relationship of buying and selling supplies. Next is how to create tables and avoid repetition data in the table. Third is how the actual relationship really works among other entities. And fourth will be how to get certain tables using SQL table. So how do we solve the above issue? So first, we will identify all the entities that will be involved, and then we will identify their relationship among entities, which will be solved by creating an ERD or entity relationship diagram. Next, after we've done all the identification, we will do normalization. We have four types of normalizations, which is unnormalized form, first normal form, second normal form, and third normal form. Once we have done with the normalizations, we will proceed with EERD, or it can be called enhanced entity relationship diagram, which is more complex because EERD have superclass and also subclass. And then after we done with the EERD, we will proceed to create a SQL command or table using XAMPP and PHP-MyAdmin.
So here we have our entity relationship diagram. In our ERD, we have four entities which are vendor, purchase order, item, and item description. For vendor entity, we have attributes vendor company name, which is the primary key, vendor contact name, vendor address, vendor phone number, and vendor fax number. For purchase order entity, we have attribute PO, which is the primary key, date, vendor company name, requisitioner, ship via FOB, and shipping term. For item entity, we have attributes item and PO for primary key and quantity. For item description, we have entity item, the primary key, description, and unit price. Moving on to relationship and cardinality in our ERD. So vendor manage one-to-many purchase order, while purchase order is managed by one and at most one vendor. Vendor also make one-to-many item, while item is made by one and at most one vendor. For purchase order, have one-to-many item, while item is in one-to-many purchase order. For each item, have one-to-many item description, while the item description is for one and at most one item.
My name is Nur Azrin Natasha binti Zulkifli, my metric number 293115. I will present for the normalization process. For the unnormalized form, we have a purchase order table with a list of attributes and its detail. For the first normal form, we separate all of the attributes into repeating and non-repeating groups. As you can see here, the last four columns is non-repeating groups, so we separate it into another table like this. As now we have two tables, purchase order table, which is the repeating column with a PO number as the PK, and we have item table, which is the non-repeating column with the item number as a primary key and PO number as a foreign key. For a second normal form, we remove the partial dependency. The purchase order table remain the same since there is no partial dependency, but we focus on the item table because there is a partially dependency relation. Item table have two primary key, which is item number and PO number. All of the non-key must depend on it. However, only quantity depend on the both key. Description and unit price depend on the item number only. So we remove the description and unit price into another table like this. Now we have three tables: purchase order table, item table with two primary key, and item description table with one primary key only. For third normal form, we remove transitive dependency. It means If none key depend on the none key, we remove it. For this case, we focus on the purchase order table only. Item table and item description table remain the same. If we think logically, we can know a vendor contact by searching vendor company name. It means vendor contact is a none key. It depends on the vendor contact name, also is a none key. So it is a transitive dependency and we have to remove it. Same goes to vendor address, vendor phone number, vendor fax number. We remove them into a new table called vendor. As a result, we have 4 tables in third number form, which is the purchase order, vendor, item table, and item description table.
And now I'll be explaining about our EERD of the purchase order. So first, we have this vendor, which will manage many purchase order, and this purchase order will manage by only one vendor. For our vendor, there will be 2 types of vendors, which is manufacturer and wholesaler. And we mention here mandatory and because these 2 must have as a vendor. And then in the purchase order, we have many items, and that many items will be listed in only one purchase order. Then in the item, there will be item description as well. So one item we only have one descriptions, and one item description we have in many items. So that's all from me. Thank you.